Is it recording? Okay, I think it is. This part, I always cringe whenever I start. All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to Stay in Touch podcast. This is your host, Joseph, and I'm here today joined by two of my good friends, Albert and Aden. Albert, he was one of my closest friends when I was studying abroad in the Czech Republic this past semester. And Aden, he's one of my roommates back at Edinburgh University. So I'm really happy to have them here both. They both studied abroad this past semester during COVID, and I just want to bring them on to share some experiences of what it was like studying abroad during the coronavirus. So welcome aboard. Albert, can you give us a quick intro?
Yeah, so hey everyone, I'm Albert. I come from Toronto, Canada, study business like everyone else here. Met Joseph in a class and we kind of ran into each other at a Viet restaurant.
Yeah.
Kind of hit off from there, went traveling a bit until COVID hit. Pretty fun.
Aden.
Yeah, so I'm Aden. I'm from Atlanta, and I go to school with Joseph at Emory. I'm actually his roommate. I met him freshman year. He lived like at the end of my hall,
Yep.
and I think he came in one day, and then I was like, "What's up?" And then he just kept on coming in the rest of the year. I don't know why. But yeah, I studied abroad in Scotland this past semester, and Joseph was in Prague, and Albert was in Prague too. So I got the chance to meet them or meet Albert, and then kind of meet up with Joseph in mainland Europe as well. So thank you again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so quick background. So Aden was able to visit Prague, right? It was one of his destinations, and he was able to check out the city. And during that time, you also met Albert, right? Or did you not?
No, I didn't meet Albert.
Okay, so we didn't all meet together until we all went to Poland together.
Yeah.
We met at Krakow, and that was actually our very last trip, which was sad.
Yeah, that's when it all happened.
Yeah. Let's start there, because I feel that was what kind of ended the whole study abroad trip, for at least for me and Albert, right? Because we kind of went on this trip very last minute because schools were being canceled over at the Czech Republic, and we're like, hey, let's meet Aden over in Krakow, and we ended up going, and it was over in less than a day and a half, right? What was that like for you guys? Not really knowing it was going to be the last trip.
Yeah, so I guess for me, I went to Krakow on a Tuesday night. I only had class Monday and Tuesday when I was studying abroad, which was really nice. But I was going to Krakow on Tuesday, and I was going to meet two of my friends in Gdansk, which is a city in North Poland, on the Thursday and Friday. Uh-huh. Yeah, close enough. But I just went because I wanted to explore, so I went a bit early. I was gonna meet them up there, and then I told Joseph that hey, I know Krakow and Prague are pretty close. So I was like, if you have time, just come down and we can link up a bit. So I was me and Joseph, when we had met in Prague and kind of just over text, we've been planning we could go to Switzerland. That was one place we really wanted to go, and then I wanted to go to Romania because flights were cheap. Mm-hmm. And so Krakow was just one. I was someone who kind of planned trips as they come. I didn't really plan them all in January and buy all the tickets. I just planned them, which is the cheapest ticket this week. I have time this week, so I definitely didn't go in thinking that this would be my last one. But yeah, I don't know, Albert. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, honestly, kind of the same for me. But yeah, I think that weekend a bunch of people were going to Switzerland, and I had not planned anything. Mm-hmm. And it just hit me up saying, hey, a buddy of mine are going to Krakow, and maybe you could join us. I thought it was a great opportunity. The bus wasn't too long, pretty cheap there, and I think our Erasmus student network at the time, they also had a trip planned to Krakow a few weeks later, visiting Auschwitz and salt mines. That was a bit more expensive though, so I thought this was gonna be a great trip and cheaper way to do it. Did not go as planned though.
Yeah, no, we were trying to go to
right.
I think I came the day before, and then I got to see the city and whatever, and then you guys came. And I remember Albert wasn't too impressed by the city, so I think we just went up to one of the ticket booths or the tourist centers to try to go to. We knew that Auschwitz was an hour away, and then the salt mines was a popular thing to do in Krakow, and was another hour away. Mm-hmm. So then we went to go see what tickets were and whatever, but because of COVID, they had Poland had closed all museums, and
literally
tourist
that day,
attractions.
the
Literally
day
that
we
day,
got
yeah.
there, they
Literally
had
the day we
closed
got there.
all the
So
tourist attractions.
yeah, I know. So like, I mean, it would have been really nice. Like, I mean, I've always heard like going to Auschwitz is like a really, obviously it's not a nice experience, but like it's a
Hmm.
really like important thing, and like
Yeah.
it really like humbles you and gives you like a sense of perspective of what happened. So like, I mean, it would have been great to go there, the salt mines, but it just really as soon as Joseph and Albert and kind of the day
Yeah.
after that I got there, everything just happened. So it's crazy.
I'm still
I just remember like the
go for it.
first
Go
night
for
we
it.
got there, we went immediately to the tower.
Yeah, I was
We went
just
to the
gonna
ticket
bring
booth
that up.
counter and we were like, yo, can we get some tickets? Or like, how much do these tickets
Oh,
cost? And the person or the lady there said, nothing is open except for restaurants. And that's when
Yeah.
I was like, what the heck are we doing here?
No, that tower, I'm still salty about that because that first night we were there, I was like, "Yo, let's go up and check out
Yeah.
like the night view." And then we ended up not going, and we're all like, "Oh, we can go tomorrow." And we go back tomorrow, and there's a sign that says, "Sorry, closed due to COVID." And we're like, "Oh shoot!" Like it's
yeah.
literally everywhere.
I think the day I got there, which was the day before you, I think all the churches and stuff were still open. So I went and checked out the churches and all that stuff
Hmm.
because they were open. But I think the day that you came, it was all closed, right? So
Yeah.
I remember we went by some of the churches I went to, um, and like everything was closed. So it was just like literally outside, take a picture. But you couldn't really see what was going on inside. So yeah, it was weird.
Yeah.
It didn't really feel like, besides that though, it didn't really feel like we were in the middle of or I guess at that point it'd been like the beginning of
Hmm.
Europe's experience with the pandemic, but it didn't really feel like that.
Yeah.
Besides the fact that everything was closed, if you would have just like walked on the street with like no knowledge of anything, you wouldn't have assumed that
Hmm.
COVID was happening.
Right.
And then President Trump hit us with that travel ban from Europe. and Emery's like, "You guys gotta come back immediately." And then we were in a foreign country, like we weren't even home in Prague. Like, man, that was such a messy process. Because I remember the bus wouldn't come either. Do you guys remember?
All
Because
right.
I
we
remember
so
you guys like rushed out. That's all I
yeah,
remember.
because basically what happened was me and Albert were supposed to stay there for another extra day. And Albert was trying so hard to convince me, "Yo, we gotta dip out early. Like this thing is getting really bad." And I'm like, "Nah, man. Like we're okay." And then later he convinced me to leave early. Actually, President Trump convinced me to leave early, and so we booked our tickets for our bus, but we like canceled those, and then we booked another one like that day. So we only spent really like a full day over in Krakow. But as we were waiting at the bus station, the buses wouldn't come for some reason, right? And we couldn't find that bus on like the TV, where it kind of
Yeah.
shows where it tracks all of them. So we're freaking out because we gotta get out of this country, back to where our stuff is, and then pack that up to go back home to Canada or to the U.S. So that was a little stressful.
It wasn't the Czech Republic like closing the border or something that day. That's why you guys like left so quickly,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
yeah. Like I was reading like news reports about like the border closing and like they're gonna be yeah. So I don't like even entering too because we had to get the
You
checkup.
guys took the COVID test when you came in, right?
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
yeah.
just
Albert.
remember like the bus delay because
Mhm.
we had to transfer to a train afterwards, and
Yeah.
it was getting kind of tight.
No,
It'd be really weird if we were stuck at the border, having
yeah.
nowhere to go.
And the train too, it randomly stopped like midway, and I
All
had a
right.
flight to catch in about 8 hours that Auden booked for me because
Oh
I
yeah, I
didn't
remember
have
that.
I didn't have
Yeah.
internet in the bus while I was booking the flight, so I just had him do it for me.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, but the train would stop randomly, and we were like, dude, like what is happening? Like we still got so much to go, but glad we made it back.
Yeah. I didn't. I think that day I was gonna go to the city in the north, Dansk,
Right.
that night to meet my two other friends, but because of like all that happened, they actually got to the airport in Edinburgh, but then like called me and they were like, or I called them and I was like, "Are you guys still coming?" And then they were like, well, they hadn't actually read the news or they didn't really know what's going on. So
Nice.
I was like, "Did you guys like see the news or like my school sent this? I don't know if your school sent that." So then they checked everything and they were like, like, yeah, our school did the same. We don't know if we should go because I guess it's like uncertainty and like why would you risk anything?
Hmm.
So then they decided not to come, and then I was still thinking I had spoke to my parents, and I spoke to Jeremy, my advisor, and he said, yeah, like just because I was based in the UK, so initially Trump didn't include the UK as part of the travel ban. So for me, it was a little bit less like serious. It was still obviously really serious, but I didn't have to like get out ASAP. He said, yeah, you can stay another week or two if you need to like fix up any loose ends or whatever. So I was still planning on going to Gdansk in the north and taking the flight out. But then I was just thinking about it and like, I guess seeing everything else that was happening and then speaking to my parents, I was just like, yeah, no, I'll just book a flight out of Krakow. So I ended up staying that night in your guys' place because I didn't have a place for that night, but the place that you guys were staying at, they didn't seem to know what was happening, or I don't know. They were really, it was cool. They just like let me stay, and then I got a flight out later that day. Yeah.
I don't know, because you stayed for a little bit after we left, right?
Yeah, I stayed a day. I stayed like a day and a half after. I left late that next night.
No, as in
my
like
flight out was
in Scotland. Like you stayed in Europe for a little longer.
I think I left on the. You guys left on. You left on the Friday, right? Or
something like that.
I left like maybe like 3 or 4 days after you, so it wasn't like that much longer. I left on a Monday. Yeah, my school they had moved everything online anyways. They said you could stay, but then Emory was saying no, like you need to come back. So like my parents were just obviously getting worried. So I was like, yeah, I'll just fix up anything and then go back.
I feel like those like last few days, it's like thinking back at it now, it's such a blur because so many things just started happening so quickly without us expecting it, and we just had to like respond to it because we had to dip out, you know. So that was that was a rough time.
I wish like if I knew that COVID would happen, obviously no one knew that it would happen, but I would have done my like 2 months so much different. I wasted so much time
for sure.
Just like I guess like adapting to the new place I was in and trying to get comfortable. So yeah, like my first month was like it was a waste, and that I could have done so much more.
Right. You still went to a lot of places though.
No, I still went. Yeah, like
you had a lot of solo trips for sure.
Yeah, no, I did. So I did the one big trip, which I had like a spring break in February for my school or whatever. So I had like a 2-week thing where I had no class. So then I met Joseph in Prague. Yeah, so I went to Prague. So I went to Warsaw for like 2 days because it was cheaper to fly into Warsaw than take a bus to Prague than to fly into Prague. So I was like, no, I'll just do that. So I went to Warsaw for 2 days and then took an overnight bus to Joseph in Prague. Did that for a couple of days, then trained to Vienna a couple of days, and then bus to Budapest where I met Joseph again, and then went back. So that was my like main trip, and I did the Krakow thing, and I went to London for a couple of days with my friend from high school. So yeah, I mean that's like what 6 cities. 6, yeah. So that's still decent. But I obviously like there was some like some of my friends like they went like every weekend somewhere, or like almost every other weekend, and I was like just sitting in my room doing nothing.
Dude, those friends who did that though, they were kind of because they planned every weekend.
Yeah.
And then once it all got canceled, they couldn't get any refunds.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm glad I didn't plan it. If I would have planned it beforehand, I definitely wouldn't have. I would have probably gone to like France, like Italy, like Germany, all like the nice like common places. I kind of liked how I did it. I just kind of looked for the cheapest ticket and then based it off there. So it's kind of random in a way. And then, I ended up in like Poland, like one when I've ever gone to Poland, which is cool.
Albert, did you plan your trips ahead at all, or were they just like last minute?
No, everything was last minute. Some of the Aden, I think the first month, just trying to get used to the new setting, trying to make some friends who I'd like to go on with. I think throughout the 1 month I did exchange, I went to 3 new cities. I've been to Europe in the past, so like places like Paris or Prague, obviously. Berlin, I've already visited before. So it wasn't like that too much of a new experience for me. There's this one, I really want to go to Morocco. I was this close to placing down a deposit for it. Yeah. Luckily, I did not, because I don't think I would be refunded on that. And that was going to be an amazing trip. I think it was like 5 nights in Morocco. But yeah, pretty hefty deposit.
I feel like, because especially for me and Albert, because our program started a little later, we only stayed for about like less than 5 weeks. But honestly, like if you were to tell me that up front and still give me the option to go study abroad, I think I'll still take it and just make the most out of the 5 weeks.
Oh yeah, sure. I forget that you guys started so late, but
Yeah.
So I had like two and a half months. You guys had like a month. Sucks. If that was me, I would have done like nothing in my month.
I went through such a stupid visa process for all that shit too. Like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, it was so much work. It was so stressful, and then it just ended so fast.
Yeah, take it in. I spent like over a month getting my visa to study abroad, and I only stayed, exactly like 5 weeks in Prague. So crazy.
I was supposed to pick up my like what do they call it?
Your
Like
residence card. Right?
Yeah, it was like a Czech residence card, so I can stay up until like June when the program was supposed to end. Now I was supposed to get that like the weekend after I left. I had like an appointment set up and everything, but that's gone now.
Oh no.
I didn't need a visa. The UK is just like
you
just get it when you land, which was nice.
How are your experiences like different in Edinburgh? Could you like talk more about that and how it was, staying there, traveling, all that?
Yeah, no, Edinburgh was like, so I guess for some context, I know Joseph really wanted to go to Prague when like we were talking about it like a few months ago before kind of we even got to where we were. Just kind of when we're applying to go abroad. I wanted to go abroad, but I got like caught up in like class and like a bunch of other stuff. Or not even caught up, I just got lazy basically, and I didn't apply on time. And then when Joseph got his confirmation and my other roommate got his confirmation as well, I kind of realized like, oh, I should probably, I wish I'd done it. So luckily my advisor at school is also the study abroad guy. So I just like talked to him and he said, yeah, we have like 2 or 3 cities left where you can go to. So like Manchester, Edinburgh, and I think it was like Budapest, I think.
Yeah.
And so I had already been to England, so I didn't want to go to Manchester. And then I went to like the Budapest University's website, and it was in Hungarian and like wouldn't translate well. And I got confused. So I was like, okay, I'll just go to Edinburgh. It's easier. I never really thought I would end up in Edinburgh. I going back, if I would apply somewhere, I might have applied to like Spain because to try to practice Spanish or whatever. Or I don't even know. But I got into Edinburgh, and I arrived there, and so I came a bit early because I have family in England. Got there, then went up to Edinburgh for a few days just to like see what it was like and whatever with my family. It was really nice, like really small, which I kind of liked, in that it was easy to get from like here to there and there to here. You didn't you didn't even need to use public transport. You could walk basically the whole city, which was really nice, and I kind of liked that. But when I arrived, like the school, I don't know if you guys had a similar experience, but like my school did like I would say like not bad job, but it was just hard to kind of meet other people at my school because it's such a big school and everyone's like spread out across the city in terms of where they live. And the school didn't really have like a big like orientation where all the new students would come and like get to meet each other or whatever. It's kind of just like, like you move in. And then when you move in with first year students that actually go to the school. So it's not like you're moving in with other study abroad students. You're moving in with like actual students, which was nice, which eventually became nice. But at the beginning, it's kind of hard to like get that relationship started because, you're not coming from the same place or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they had like a 2-hour or like optional orientation, like 5 days before school started. And at that point, most of the students hadn't even arrived yet. So it was just kind of hard to meet people, I found. I don't know if you guys had a similar.
Ours is set up a little different because where we lived, right, it was all exchange students. And so like you weren't living with any locals. You were living with other students from different parts of the world who all came together for that semester to study abroad.
That communist block building.
Yeah. We had this like big, like, I don't know, some people liked it. I mean, I thought it was fine. Like it definitely wasn't the best.
It looked kind of cool. Like,
not the best.
I thought it was cool how like what is it, like each of the rooms had like different like amenities, right? So I actually looked out and had one of like it was a legitimate fridge, with like a freezer type thing, storage. But I know some friends, because all these rooms, right, are shared with 4 different people usually. But one room will have like a full-size fridge, while like Albert would have like a mini fridge.
Yeah.
So it really depends on like how lucky you get, with some of the things that they give you. Yeah, but overall, like, and our school was a little smaller than you guys too, Aden, and like we didn't really have like a campus.
Yeah, I remember. When I
Yeah,
came, it was like 2 buildings or something
yeah,
like that.
we
Right?
literally just had buildings, and then otherwise you just go home.
Yeah, mine, like, I think, like, I'm not the most like outgoing person just generally. So like, I'm sure if like you went, you probably wouldn't have had that much of a problem meeting
Mhm.
people. I mean, it still might have been a hindrance in that you don't know like where to find people.
Yeah.
Because like the thing with Edinburgh is that like I don't know what percentage, but like a really high percentage of the city is students. So like there's students everywhere. It's just like how do you like, as a third year student that's studying abroad for like 4 months, how do you like come into someone else's friend group and like become friends with them? That's like the thing that I struggled with.
Yeah.
I eventually, like, after like a month of adaptation or whatever, I got friends, and or I became closer with the people I met and my flatmates, which that's also kind of it also kind of sucked that COVID happened, because it took me a while to get used to like where I was living and to like get that like group of people that I was comfortable with and like friends with. And as soon as I was just like getting comfortable and like, really like enjoying my time, then this all happened, and it was like, damn, like I wish I had more time to like, build that relationship a bit more.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, for you guys, I would assume like it's only in a month. Like if I was there for a month, I don't know, like that would have been like pretty tough.
Albert, how was that for you, kind of being in our situation, getting adjusted and all that?
Like, well, our school did have a orientation week of some sort. I know you mentioned like University of Edinburgh didn't, but honestly, I think after the first 2 days, nobody showed up to events.
Yeah, it was very
included.
they said mandatory, but it was very optional.
Especially after Tuesday, everyone went clubbing, and
Yeah.
nobody showed up the next day. I think for me, I met Joseph in class, like I mentioned, and then we kind of ran into each other at Vietnamese restaurant. I kind of met my other friends through him, so it was kind of great like that. I think only like a few days or like a week before COVID ended my exchange, that's when I finally felt like I found my friend group that I want to travel with. These are the people that like I want to travel with, and we all had several plans in mind. So it was kind of sad that it ended a bit early, but I think it was just like right before COVID hit that I was finally really enjoying exchange.
Yeah, that's similar. Yeah, I mean the thing I'll say though is I really like the place I ended up in, like Edinburgh. You guys didn't get the chance to come. I know Joseph wanted to come, but it's actually like a really nice, like, it's besides the fact that it's super cold and windy, which like coming from the south of the U.S. is like a bit, it's like completely different from the weather I'm used to. So I had to go out and like buy a massive jacket and whatever. And I got sick for a week. But besides that, like it's actually really like nice place.
No,
I like
I've
it.
been to Edinburgh before.
You've been? Oh yeah, you've been. Yeah.
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 I think
Joseph just
Edinburgh
hasn't.
and Prague both have that like giant castle.
Yeah, the castle. Yeah.
I think anyone really does.
Edinburgh's just like it's just a nice like place. Like a bunch of like little coffee shops. I like coffee, and like I tried, like Joseph knows, I have like coffee every day in the morning, like sometimes twice in the morning, my coffee maker. But like I tried getting one of those in Edinburgh, but like it didn't work well. So then I just started going out to like little coffee shops. There's one like 2 minutes from my house or from my dorm or my flat that I was living in, and I like ended up going there like 3 or 4 times a week. And the lady there was just like super nice. I like, when I was leaving, like it didn't really hit me that I was leaving. I obviously knew I was leaving, but I think it was the day before I left. I went to get coffee, and I was like, my flight the next morning was like super early, so she wouldn't be open that morning. So it was kind of my last time getting coffee at her place. And like we were just talking. We always talk whenever I get coffee and whatever. And she was like, "Oh, she knew I was American, so she said, "Oh, like what's up with you? Like how's everything going?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm actually leaving tomorrow." And then she started like, I'd met this lady like 10 times. We had some conversation. She knew my name. I knew her name, but like, it's just like the coffee lady that I went to. And she started like tearing up, and I was like, "Damn!" Like she even had a hug, and then like that at that point it like hit me. I was like, "Damn!" Like, so I went like on a long walk down the city just to like take it in or whatever. It was nice, but
did she give you a free hug? And
Yeah.
a free coffee?
She gave me a free brownie. Free brownie.
Oh, free brownie. Okay.
Yeah. Brownies are nice. But yeah.
Dang. So like she was really attached then. I guess
No,
she
it
really
just
saw you as someone.
I mean, I guess it's just like I know from speaking to my roommates that like a lot of college students end up going there to that coffee shop.
Okay.
So she's pretty young too. She's not like a super old lady, so she like can relate and like you can talk and like similar stuff. But yeah, no, she was just like really nice lady, and it's just like at that point that it hit me. I was like, yeah. I mean, it was like my daily thing. Like it was like my routine. I was getting in like every other day, go get coffee from her, and then go like class or go like do whatever. So that was like the last day of that routine, and then like,
yeah.
Respect for you though for having a routine.
You had a really like early morning flight on your way back too. Like
yeah.
What'd you end up doing on your last night, and like how'd you feel?
So I came back from Krakow with Albert, and it was about like 10, 11 p.m. I'll say, and my flight was at 8 a.m. The next day, and so I just spent the night pretty much packing up, cleaning up the place because my roommate had actually like left already at that point, and he had like taken his essentials with him, and so he asked me to just throw out like a bunch of things that he had left in his room. So it was just a lot of trips down to the dumpster, and then me packing up my own things. And then, before I knew it, it was time to go, pretty much. But I made sure to make one last trip, though, and go to Prague Bridge, right? Is that what it's called? Prague
Bridge?
Charles Bridge.
Come on. That's like the most like iconic place in Europe or Prague.
I said Prague Bridge, and you guys just looked at me. I was like, wait, yeah, it sounds wrong, but you guys aren't saying anything. But yeah, and I went with Katie and Albert and kind of took it in for like the one last time, and then off to the airport it was. But man, like that was over way too fast. Yeah, but Charles Bridge.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, but Charles Bridge is. I personally feel like it's a lot nicer at night when there's no tourists and you have like the city lights kind of like around you. It's a very calming experience. It's very different from like in the afternoons, let's say.
Yeah, I remember when I went, you like picked me up from the train station at like 10 a.m. or whatever, and then we went out after like showering or whatever at like 1. And the first place you took me was like Charles Bridge, and it was like Saturday or something.
Yeah,
it was like packed with people. I was like so overwhelmed. I was like, bro, what's happening? And I always heard Charles Bridge, like Charles Bridge, like so nice, like blah blah blah. And I was there, I was like, I mean, it's nice, but like I don't see the hype or anything. And then I remember you took me back at like 1 a.m. or like 2 a.m. that night.
Yeah.
And also to like the John Lennon Wall, but like at like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. with like it's a castle in the back, right?
Yeah.
Something in the back with like lit up, no one on the bridge. It's just it's like super nice and like relaxing. And then the John Lennon Wall at night too, when like no one's there.
Yeah.
It's like easy to see. Yeah, Prague at night, like I'd always heard about Prague like as the like everyone speaks highly about Prague, right? But I think I went on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, something like that. So like, it was flocked with tourists. So like my lasting impression of Prague was just like tourists everywhere.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, this isn't bad, obviously, but like I guess you don't get full experience with there being so many tourists. But I remember when you took me out at night that day, then I saw it. I was like, oh, okay, like this is actually, I see what it's about now.
Albert, what was your favorite like attraction or like site that you enjoyed most in Prague?
It's a good question. I think I really like the Dancing Tower, or Dancing House or whatever that's called. Like the view from there is pretty good. You get like the whole view of Prague, and I think like the day I went, it was like pretty calming. Not too many tourists. I think the location's like not central, like very center or central. Sorry. So yeah, not too many people crowding your view. Got some nice photos there.
Could you explain to our listeners why it's called a dancing tower?
Got like a really funky shape to the building. I have no idea. Maybe there's some history behind it, but I think that's primarily the reason why it's called the Dancing House or whatever.
Yeah, it's like curved. It's like the curved building.
Or no? I don't think I went to that when I went.
I don't think I've only seen it in pictures.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. but like the walls are like slanted and curved, right?
Yeah.
My favorite thing about Prague was the soccer game. I went with. We didn't go, but like we went to the stadium, like Sparta Prague Stadium. Me and Joseph went before one of their match days. It was like crazy packed. Like it's like, like going to a football game or a baseball game. You all Americans and I think Canadians know about that. But like, going to like I'm a massive soccer fan, but I'd never actually been to like a proper like European soccer game, or like experience the atmosphere. And just going like Sparta Prague, which isn't even like, it's obviously very local, like very like strong supported club. Just going there and seeing like the atmosphere beforehand, people like, it's like chaos everywhere. Like I don't even know what's happening. Me and Joseph just kind of like weaving in between, trying to see what's happening. I like that. I wish I would have went to the game, but or a game, but that was nice.
Yeah, Aden, he doesn't really show emotions or doesn't really care about a lot of things, but this thing he really wanted to go to.
Yeah.
he was like, "Yo, let's go to the soccer match." Yeah. Yeah, but that reminded me of like a college like football game atmosphere. I mean, not that I know what that's like because we come from Emory, but
college football atmosphere, but like with like 40-year-old men as opposed to like 22-year-old like students, like 40-year-old men just like crazy.
I wish we tried to sneak in. I feel like
we should have gone in. It was like I don't even know what's happening. I don't think they would have. But
and then what else? And then they had like this. Huh?
No, what were you gonna say?
No, go for it.
No, I was gonna switch to like say what
that's fine.
No, I was gonna say what was your favorite like place that you went, like Prague,
Prague?
Or, like, outside of Prague?
I think my favorite. I really like good views, right? So like say I go hiking or something. I hate the hike, but I love the view when it's over. And so it would have to be the dude, I'm blanking on all these names now. This is horrible.
Yeah, same, honestly.
Albert, you know which one I'm talking about though, right? It's like the tower.
Oh, Petrin Tower?
The Petrin Tower. Yeah. There we go.
Man, I was just going to say that was like my least favorite attraction in Prague.
It's the thing in the top, like in the top.
Yeah, so it's pretty much on top of a mountain, right? Because you have to take a shuttle to get up to the mountain, and then once you're up there, I forget how many steps they said it was, but it's a spiral staircase that lasted about 15-20 minutes. So it's like a decent way up, and then but you get a very nice view of the city, of like the water, of the city of Prague, and so that was probably my favorite part. And it was like 360, so you can kind of walk around the top. And so as you're going up, you're getting the view, and then you go up, take pictures, and then you walk back down. That was personally my favorite. Albert, you didn't like that?
No. I was just gonna say that was by far my least favorite attraction in Prague. I kind of thought it was overrated, man. The hike up there was dangerous. Like signs weren't clear on how to get up there, first of all, and the trails were like really muddy, kind of ruined my shoes there. And the view honestly wasn't too great. Like I think Prague Castle or any other like high points in Prague would have given you the same view. The tower itself kind of just looks like a regular like TV cable.
Yeah.
Tower. Not feeling it.
The Prague Castle was pretty impressive too, though. And there were some of those views from like kind of like outside the walls, overlooking the city. Those are really nice. But I wish I was able to do more. Kind of.
Did you guys ever like have? So you guys were in the Czech Republic. So I was staying in the UK, right? So like the UK and the US and like Canada all have like a similar. They're all like melting pots, I guess, right? Like you have a bunch of. Obviously, there's like a predominant race and whatever, but like it's just like a bunch of people from a bunch of different backgrounds. So like being an American, even though I'm like a minority or whatever, I don't feel that or I guess it's not as evident as it might be in other countries because the U.S. is like such a big melting pot, and Canada I would assume similar, and the U.K. from my experience was similar as well. But like when I went to Poland, so Poland was my first. So out of all the places I've ever been, like in my life, I've been to the U.S., Canada, England, or the U.K., which are all like melting pots, and then I've been to Costa Rica, and Pakistan, which I identify as. So like, I'm not a like it's not like it's something I'm used to or whatever.
Yeah.
But going to Poland was like the first time, and going alone at that was like the first time I was in a homogeneous culture where I wasn't like the homogeneous person. I was,
like a foreign
I was
atmosphere.
I was like different. And I'm not saying that I felt like uncomfortable or like I felt threatened at any time. It was just that I remember like going there and like realizing that everyone is like pretty much obviously not the same, but like they all look really similar.
Mm.
And it's a much more homogeneous culture than I'm used to. So just being kind of that outlier in there and not speaking the language and not really knowing what I was doing, and being alone as well, just kind of it like made me feel, I was like, oh, like this is a different feeling. I didn't feel threatened or like bad or anything. It was just like, wow, like, okay, this is like, I've never felt this before. I don't know. So I know like Poland, I know the Czech Republic and Prague is like pretty touristy, so maybe not, but I know, and Warsaw is yet to kind of get that, or isn't as touristy as Prague yet. So maybe in Prague it's kind of less obvious. But did you guys ever kind of
feel that way?
Feel that way, or like experience something like that? Because it was like a really like it hit me like as soon as I started walking the streets alone. Just like I don't know how to describe it. Like I didn't feel threatened, I felt comfortable, but not in a bad way. It was just like a weird like, oh wow, like never been in this situation before.
I think for Prague, at least for me, I didn't feel that way, not so much. Yeah, I think it's mostly because, like in the dorms, right, where I'm surrounded by exchange students, and then and the people, most of them at least spoke English. And so
that's the thing, also, like
I was able to have a conversation with them.
Yeah, in Poland, a lot of people speak English, but like I went to the supermarket one time and then I tried paying and then no one at the supermarket spoke English.
Mm.
And like my card wasn't reading for some reason. I couldn't read the thing because it was in Polish and they couldn't understand what I was trying to say, which was in English.
Mm.
I mean, that was like another first time I've ever had that happen to me. I was just kind of just standing there for 10 minutes, like waiting until like another customer came, and then finally a guy that spoke English came and he could like sort it out. But it's just like weird, like, sorry,
no, go for it.
No, I'm saying it's like weird that like a lot of people probably like in the U.S., like a lot of immigrants to the U.S. probably struggle with that as well, not speaking English and kind of feeling out of place because they're not from the U.S. And like even myself, like my parents are both immigrants, both speak English, but like I grew up, I'm a first like generation American or whatever, and even with that, like still like I haven't had that experience really ever. So to go to Poland and like have that experience was just like, wow, like this is like really weird.
Yeah.
But also like really like I guess important that I've felt something like this, even if it was only for like a day and a half or whatever.
Albert, did you feel anything like that during your time?
Yeah, so like at Aden, like I ran into like a similar problem at the grocery store where one time, for whatever reason, my card wasn't reading, and the guy who came over to assist me, like he did not speak a lick of English, so he eventually just like pressed a few buttons on the machine because I was using like the self-pay system. And he set the instructions in English, and then we kind of just like figured it out through that. So that was pretty funny. And another time when I was with my friend at a cafe, I was trying to get a bottle of water, and I said, I didn't I said, yeah, can I just get a bottle of water? Because I expect or from previous experiences, I expected most people in the Czech Republic to speak a little bit of English, but this waitress, she did not understand me at all. So I quickly I remembered water in Czech is voda. It kind of just sounds like there was an accent. So I said, water, I mean, voda. And she's like, oh, okay. And she brought me some water. So there are like tiny things like that. But overall,
did you have to pay for it though?
Yeah, of course, definitely. That's the thing.
I think that was like my welcome to Europe moment. I'm like, oh, you got to pay for water?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. You're so used to kind of, at least in the States, you sit down, they pass you the menu at a restaurant, and they ask you, would you like anything to drink? And naturally, just water comes out,
Yeah.
But you can't do that anymore without being charged over anywhere in Europe. So that was a pain. Also bathrooms too. Like bathrooms, you gotta pay for bathrooms. You gotta pay like 5 cents at a McDonald's.
Yeah.
You can't. Right. So, man. I peed a lot, like outside, just like out on the streets.
Nice to know.
I think I might have done a couple of times, but not like a whole lot.
What would you say your favorite foods were while you're? This could be at your host university or just any of the other places that you visited. We'll go Albert first.
Oh man. I think like I know most people hate this, but I actually really like goulash in Prague. It was like very cheap. Honestly, like the dumplings, there's nothing special to it, but
Yeah.
like just great together, I think. And it was just like simple. If I kind of felt like a homemade food, it was definitely comfort food for me during my time in Prague. So yeah, I have to go with that.
The goulash is like
I,
the meatloaf and the dumpling, right?
Right,
And like the gravy thing.
did,
Okay.
did I have that? I think I had that in Hungary with you, right? That at that weird restaurant where they served it cold. You remember that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They had some like
That was
goulash.
that goulash or was that something else?
No, but the dumplings were different. And so the Prague or like the Czech Republic dumplings, pretty much think of it as like pieces of bread without the crust, but it's a little bit chewier and a little bit spongier. And
I
then
feel like I had it. I just can't remember. But I
didn't we?
remember I had it. I remember I had it in Hungary though. I didn't like it there.
Yeah, that one was
But I might
horrible.
have had it in Czech at that place that the Honest Guide whatever
Oh,
recommended.
oh yeah. I think we did have it then.
Okay, then that
Yeah,
wasn't bad. Then that
yeah,
was fine. The Hungarian
yeah.
one was not.
Hungarian one was not good, but it's cheap.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Oh, then you got a favorite food during your time abroad?
favorite food. Um, I don't know if I had a favorite food. I mean, all like I tried the Czech food, the Hungarian food,
Mm-hmm.
some Polish food. It was all like it was good. It was like interesting. I never really had like goulash or like whatever tartar or whatever that before. I never
This
had.
could be like snacks or desserts too,
No,
even.
I'll say I had like what I had. I had like a pretty decent amount of kebab just because like that's like the fast food stuff everywhere like like in the UK and then in
Yeah.
Hungary and Prague and Vienna like everyone has that's the thing to have so I had a decent amount of that which is like obviously good.
And honestly, it's really good too.
Yeah, I know it's good. It's like cheap. It's like filling.
Yeah.
It's not like I mean it's probably unhealthy, but it's like at least doesn't look like super unhealthy like from the
Yeah.
beginning.
Wait, was it Berlin, Albert? Where we
Yeah, Berlin.
so they had this amazing like it was very highly rated. Like it was like a not taco, kebab truck type thing. And we waited outside in line for at least hour and a half, I want to say, out in the cold. It was so fucking freezing. But we get to front of the line and we get our kebabs and like they're like regularly priced, if not cheaper, but they added the seasoning that made it really, really good. And so I remember like I finished mine and then I finished the rest of Albert's because you didn't finish yours. But I would like gladly wait in that line again because it was that good.
Oh, I know now. I don't know if it's my favorite food, but the place you took me to in Prague,
Uh-huh.
the first restaurant we ate at, which was like it was like a chain, but like a Prague chain or something.
Oh yeah. Oh, I forgot about
That
that.
food was good. That was good. It was like fast food, but like not like burger or anything. It was just like some like I forget what it was called.
Yeah,
Like a
it's
baguette,
like the
right?
baguette. Albert, help us out here.
I think I know what you're talking about, but
Are you blanking on the name too?
yeah.
It's the chain that you find.
My bad, my internet went out.
Man, yeah, but I think yeah, that one was like because like you get the fries and like the tartar
Yeah,
sauce,
and then
right?
the bread like it's like a
Yeah,
baguette or was it? I don't even
yeah.
know.
Oh, Baguette Boulevard, right?
Oh yeah. I
I
think
don't
that's
know.
what it's called. The logo's
Right?
like
Oh.
green, right? Something like that.
I don't know how I remember that.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That was
Yeah,
pretty
that
good.
place. Yeah, that was the first time, or that was the first restaurant that I went to when I came to Prague too. Because my what is it? My buddy,
Yeah.
like my buddy pairing, yeah, she took me there also. Yeah, but thanks for putting that back into my memory though. I totally
Yeah,
forgot
no,
that was a thing.
that's good.
I think for me, my favorite place that we went to eat, in terms of
McDonald's.
like, no, not definitely not. No, McDonald's was good too. I made it a mission for every country that I went to at least to check out the McDonald's just to see because I knew like the menus change, and so like Auden knows this. Like we were so full when walking around. Where was this? Budapest, I think.
Yeah, Budapest. Yeah,
Budapest, and then like late at night we went to McDonald's so I can get some ice cream, which was
yeah.
pretty good. And then for was this Germany, right?
Yeah.
Munich.
Munich.
Yeah, Munich. We were hungry, and I forced everyone to go to McDonald's with me. And they were like looking at cafes, and I'm like, no. We go to McDonald's.
Did you get like a curry burger from somewhere?
Yeah, I got a curry burger it was a tiki masala burger from Prague,
McDonald's?
actually. And
McDonald's, right?
Yeah, McDonald's. Not bad. I wouldn't recommend. But I mean, it was just like the sauce, and it was just you just don't expect that kind of flavor from your burger.
Yeah, my light.
Yeah.
It's so dark right now, right?
It's fine.
My dark. Okay.
It doesn't matter on a podcast how dark you are.
Oh yeah, forget. My bad.
Yeah, but I think my favorite food though was over by. This was in Berlin. No, this was Munich. When we went to this nice restaurant, we sat outside in the sun, and this our waiter was like dressed like one of those characters from like How to Train Your Dragon. Like he was dead ass like wearing a skirt with this like brown leather thing, and he came up. He was a very nice dude. Recommended great beer, and most of us ended up getting this like pork chop thing. Do you remember? Yeah, and that was really, really good. Like, man, like that thing was so freaking juicy. Auden doesn't know what I'm talking about because he can't have pork. But yeah, I think that was my favorite meal that I've had. Oh, yeah, but Germany was fun.
I wish I tried the food more. When I went with Joseph, like I tried, or when I was with Joseph or like Albert or my friend that I was in London with, I had like the local food, but when I was by myself, for some reason, I didn't like have as much local food as I could have. So like, looking back, yeah, like I should have. Like Poland has like I forget what they have, like some pancake type thing that I should have tried. But
you know what I just remembered? Remember that burger place that we went to?
Oh, never mind.
The burger place we went to, like for our very last time in Krakow.
Oh, we got poutine. That was good.
Yeah, poutine. Right?
That was
fried.
No,
but like the burger was huge. Like
yeah, that was massive.
Me and Auden got such big burgers, and we were hungry, but we didn't expect. Yeah, these would be so big, but kid you not, like size of like my face almost. Like that thing was humongous.
You remember in I think it was Prague or it might have been Budapest. I think it was Prague. You like went to the Aldi or like that supermarket, and you got the like Belgian waffles, and you like started going crazy about them.
Oh, that was Budapest. Yeah.
Belgian waffles. I was like,
I missed that. Yeah, I bought one, ate it like in like 2 days, all of it, and in like one package there's like at least 10 waffles. And then like our last night, we went out and I bought like 2 more packages just so I can take them back to Prague. And they're not even from Budapest. Like they're Belgian waffles.
Belgian waffles from Hungary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But those are mad good. Like you put them in the microwave for like 10 seconds just to melt the inside for a little bit. Like I first told Auden, right? I'm like, yo, like you gotta put these inside a toaster. And he's like, what are you talking about? But they make it better that way. Oh man. Albert, what was your favorite snack?
Favorite snack?
Yeah. Or like a dessert or anything like that. Not real food.
Oh, okay. Well, I think like my favorite snack or like favorite like thing, it was when I was in Paris, man. Chocolat au pain, so good. Like all the different croissants they have. Like one of my buddies, they were traveling from Canada, right? And they were heading back a few days later. My buddy stuffed like a suitcase full of croissants to bring back for his family, and those are so good, and they're so cheap too. I wish we had the same thing in Canada, like fresh pastries everywhere, but unfortunately we don't. So.
Yeah, I remember you were always going crazy about croissants.
So good.
Yeah. What was that one bakery, like Paul's?
Oh yeah, Paul's, right.
Yeah, we went to a dessert place. Yeah, or we went to Paul's to get some dessert after having dinner with some of our friends, and we got something else besides croissants. And as we're eating this like dessert, Albert's like, no, you gotta try the croissants. Like the croissants. And I'm like, cool. Like and the next time I go back,
man, like really good.
Yeah. No, I remember you gave me some you were nice to offer me like a bite after or before going to Krakow, I think. Like as we were heading out, like there was a pause near our train station, and it was really good. Yeah. Man, good times. All right, well, that's about like an hour, so we're gonna wrap up here. But for both of you guys, we're gonna what's like one tip or like recommendation, like suggestion you might have for someone trying to study abroad in their upcoming year?
One tip for me, or like one insight I took, like something I really took away from traveling abroad is really get to know like the city. I think I spent like a lot of time doing very like cliche or like considered like touristy things in Prague, and these are like the kind of things I've never done in my home city in Toronto. Like I realized there are a lot of stuff in Toronto that I haven't ever like bothered to touch because I view them as like touristy or like something that only like foreigners would do. Really got me thinking like there's a lot more to do in Toronto than just like what I thought originally. So that's like my go-to tip. So wherever you're traveling or wherever you're staying for your exchange, really get to know the place. There's tons to do. Don't sit in your room all day. COVID might hit and you might waste your time.
Yeah, that's kind of what I would say too. That like that's definitely what I did badly. I didn't, especially for my like first month. It just took me a while. I mean, obviously it takes people time to adapt, and people adapt at different rates, which is understandable. But like, try to like put yourself out there as much as you can, and just like, don't like try not to like just be on your laptop watching YouTube, but you can do that anywhere. Like you can just do that when you get back to the US, or like, you know, any day at night. Don't like waste the whole day or a whole weekend on YouTube. Just like go out, like even just go for like a walk in your city, which, you know, might not be, you know, there's stuff you find just walking. So it'd be that. And then also, like I would say, like try, like, if you can, like try to like block your classes. Like I got really lucky in that I only have to take 3 classes, so I had like 5-day weekends, or like 5.5-day weekends basically.
Stupid.
So if you can do that, like to do that, like because like at the end of the day, like I remember I spent a lot of time like looking at the classes and like oh, this class would be interesting, or this class would be interesting to take, but kind of when I got there, I realized that like, I don't really like this semester. Like class is important for sure, but like I don't really care that much about what I'm doing this semester. I just kind of want to like stack my classes as close together as
I
possible.
honestly thought everyone would do that, because like I did the same thing. I stacked all my classes on 2 days, so I would have like 5 days off.
Okay, yeah.
But people were having like 4-day weeks, 5-day weeks.
Yeah, no, I had some friends that had like even at Edinburgh, we only had to take 3 classes. Like everyone only takes 3 classes. Some people had like 4-day, 5-day weeks, and I'm just like, like study abroad students had that. Like, is there no way that you could have stacked it any differently? But I think that's like, if you just think about that, like when you get there, you're gonna
you're not gonna want to study.
Yeah, you're not gonna want to study. You're gonna wish that you had like more like elongated time to do whatever.
You see an interesting class. Oh, it's a Friday class. Never mind. Like I'll take something else.
Like, don't do that. Like, just take whatever class is on a Monday, Tuesday. Just take that.
I guess my tip would be to to start your visa process early. And Aden knows like what I had to go through. But pretty much I didn't expect to go until like a week before I left, because that was when I pretty much got my confirmation. And so it was a very confusing and a hectic time, like in the fall, trying to get everything ready in time so I can study abroad. So definitely don't procrastinate on that. Take my word for it.
One thing kind of along those lines is like Europe, like especially if you go to Europe is pretty good about like you don't really need a visa to go to most places, especially if you're just traveling as a tourist. But like there are a few places like Russia. I don't know any other ones off the top of my head, but that you need a visa to enter as an American. I'm not sure about a Canadian, but
Egypt is one of them.
Egypt too, okay, maybe. But I tried to go to Russia. I was actually gonna book a ticket. Like I booked a ticket to North Poland, and then there's like a little exclave of Russia, like right like an hour from there, that I was gonna book a ticket to, until I checked the website and realized that you need to have a Russian visa in advance, and it costs like $250 or something. So just be like it might only be a few countries like Russia, I don't know, Belarus maybe, but just like be aware if you want to go to those countries that you might need a visa.
For sure.
Yeah.
And for our listeners, what's a good place where if they want to connect with you, they can find you guys? like your Instagram, Facebook. If you guys want to plug anything, now's the time.
Yeah, so all my social media is at Albert YW Chan. Definitely not as active as Joseph, but yeah, feel free to connect.
Yeah, I'm not really active on like Instagram like that. I have a Twitter, but like honestly, just like
I'd
to
love to connect with
memories.
you on Twitter.
Yeah, no, I mean, I have a Twitter. Okay, I can send. It's at JXXGMAYNE. So a little bit of
He doesn't even know. He was just reading off his phone just now.
No, I don't know. I don't know. Like, because I have so many different ats, like the same variation, just like the X here or a U there or something. But yeah.
Yeah, well, that's where you can find them. Thank you too for coming on to the show. Really appreciate it. And thank you everyone listening.
All right, take care.